Did you count down?
No.
Welcome to season 1, episode 25 of Next Stop Somewhere. We're Jeff and Louise, and today we're exploring Loranger, Louisiana, and all the
some other
surrounding
place
areas.
near there.
Yeah.
Our podcast is not about luxury travel, but real people, real places, and the little discoveries that make each trip unforgettable. So
Grab your coffee,
grab your buttercup
buckle up,
and
your king cake.
And your king cake.
And your king cake.
Grab your king cake and coffee and cafe au lait.
And
maybe
let's dive in.
Maybe a beignet on the side.
Beignet.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's dive in.
So we're in Loranger, Louisiana.
Loranger or Loranger?
Whatever, Loranger.
You say Loranger. I say Loranger.
What's the difference?
No, Loranger. 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 You know that song?
No.
I say tomato. You say tomato.
Okay.
Anyway.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And we're staying at a campground called Sweetwater RV Resort and Ranch. And it is far away from anything.
It is.
And we have, this campground is set up that there's long-term people, and there's obviously a ranch. They have horses. They have a small petting zoo that we have not gone to. And they have, the long timers are over there. The short timers have this little area, I think like 14, 15 spots. We're the only ones until yesterday, but we're the only ones. Like, we can let the dog out and just not have to walk her because she's fine. She stays nearby.
Not keep her on a leash. It's the most she's been able to run around since we were in Arlington.
Yeah, on her own. Except for dog parks, but then she's too busy sniffing everybody else's pee, so.
Right.
So the staff, we didn't really have a lot of interaction. The woman, when we checked in, she was very nice.
Very nice.
There
That's
you go. They dropped off a fire ring. They're
Mm-hmm.
very helpful, and it's a cute area. We have trees.
The park itself, you mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. It's well-ish kept up. I mean, it's all dirt.
It's not. There's like some concrete, but it's covered by all the leaves.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, when we pulled in, we were in 9. So when we pulled in, the way that it was set up, it was
A little confusing.
where do we go?
Yeah.
How do we pull in?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a pull through, and then where does it stop? It kind of looked like there was a road there, but are we into the road? And then, because we were the only ones for the week, or so we thought, or so she said, we just pulled in and figured people can just get over it.
Hogged, I think, 2 spots. I mean, we didn't hog them, but intruded into their area.
So are they large sites? I don't know.
It's really hard to tell because the ground is covered with leaves.
Covered.
Yeah.
With
so
leaves.
It's hard to tell where one camp begins and the other ends.
But
nice trees, nice cover.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
They sent an email letting us know that they were going to turn off the water because of the freezing temperatures.
Mm-hmm.
So we did get communicated with that. Conveniences. Did they have a pool? I don't know. We really don't.
Yes.
Know. This is bad.
Yes, they have a pool. And we haven't really had cause to because I don't think the temperature has gotten above the 40s. It's like 20 degrees below normal here. This is right after, Snowmageddon 26.
Yeah, in the first couple of days, it just rains a lot.
Yeah.
And there was a little bit of a puddle out there, but, nothing.
Yeah, dried up quick. Yeah.
No activities provided by the park.
Well, petting zoo, pony rides.
Well, I mean, like card games or,
Yeah,
meetups or anything like that. There isn't anything like that, but they do have that. The biggest drawback, I would say, for this campground has nothing to do with this campground.
The freaking dog across the street that won't stop barking.
There's a hunting dog over there that they
Yeah.
leave outside all the time, like a beagle,
Yeah.
always barking.
Have
Then
it
they
on
have a
run.
yippy one, and then they have a larger one, and
Yeah.
it just barks all the time,
All the time.
all the time.
Yeah. What is it with us and dogs? You know, when we were in Phoenix, we had that annoying dog. When we were in Columbus, we had the 3 annoying little yappy dogs, which I'm a dog lover, but I was ready to poison those little brats. They were so annoying.
Yeah, they were very annoying.
These are right up there.
Yeah.
And for sure.
I don't know if they're as bad.
I can't hear them as much when I'm not outside.
Yeah.
But once you go outside, and it's just like, it's like Chinese water torture. It's like, bark, 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 bark.
And at one point, was it last night, there was a bunch of dogs in the neighborhood that were howling?
All going, yes.
It was
Yes.
just pain in the ass.
Yeah.
So, would you come back here again?
No, probably not. I mean, it is far away from anything. There's no, 20, 30
no.
minutes from anything.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hour outside of New Orleans. Oh, look, you
I
have a
would come
friend
here
coming.
again if I had meat that I could poison and take it over to the dogs.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Hypothetically speaking.
Yeah. Hypothetically. In Minecraft.
Hypothetically.
Mm.
But it's a nice campground.
It's fine.
You know.
I guess if you're, have a horse, maybe? I
Sure.
don't know. I mean, because they have a whole riding arena, like
Yeah.
with stands. It seems like they have
Yeah, and you can go. They have
events.
Pricing for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
To be able to do it. But the campground,
Whatever.
but we didn't come here for the campground.
No.
We came here to this campground because it was well rated. I think it was a 10.
It was very well rated.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they're nice sites. The trees are big. I am only worried about the one tree when we pull out, but really nothing.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Full hookups, sewer, the works.
I would like to say that it's a quiet area, but you have some asshats that drive down on this 35-mile-an-hour road at full speed. And, of course, they need to have their, hole in their exhaust or something to make it sound louder.
Yeah.
And it's just loud. Obnoxious.
Yeah.
But,
That's just occasional.
but not to be overshadowed by the rest of our time.
No. Once it stopped raining and we were able to get out a little bit
Once it stopped raining.
and we got to experience the fabulous city of Amite.
You
Yeah,
want to talk about
That's what
Amite?
you're talking about?
Yeah, sure.
Well, you like that fabric store.
Well, we're not on the fabric stores right now.
Oh, well, excuse me.
On our list of our agenda, next is food.
Paul's Cafe. And I keep wanting to say Pascagoula, but it's not. It's like
Ponchatoula.
Ponchatoula. Yeah.
Something like that.
Okay,
I'm not
next.
sure it would be. Paul's Cafe.
Got good reviews once again, 4.5 stars. Everybody raved about what a great local diner it was. It was not. It was
You
not.
got like 2 eggs.
2 eggs, bacon or sausage. Yeah, the sausage, the smoked sausage, a biscuit,
Not a breakfast sausage.
hash browns, and grits. I went big. So I wanted it all.
Yeah.
And the portions were kind of small, which was fine because it was a lot of different food. But it was not what I would consider breakfast sausage. It was a smoked sausage, which I guess is a thing down here. Because another review for another diner I read said something about that. But it was very mediocre.
The hush puppies? Not hush puppies. Hash browns?
The biggest were like the ones you get at McDonald's.
Dun, dun, dun.
Which that's fine if you're getting an egg McMuffin. Back when I would have an egg McMuffin, I'd get the hash browns and I'd put the hash browns on the egg McMuffin and eat that. But these, I wanted to go to Waffle House and get them, covered, scattered, and smothered.
I said go to Waffle House.
I know, but I wanted that.
You're
I
the
was
one
like,
that
why
went
should
to
we go
choose
to
it.
a chain? I thought, then why should we go to a chain? Let's go to a local place.
It was a cute diner.
Yeah, it had potential. Like you said, it was nice wood paneling. It had a nice outside seating. It had these wrought iron chairs.
Wood
a lot of
paneling.
personality.
It was wood slats, not
Wood
not
slats.
paneling. And the ceiling was wood. and it was exposed brick.
Mm-hmm.
And out, if you had the ability to sit outside, it was a very cute area outside,
Yeah.
protected. But they fell really short. I had a waffle, and it was weird tasting.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was it. Nothing else.
Yeah, that was also the weird thing. They just brought you this waffle on a plate.
That's it.
No sides, no nothing.
It was bizarre.
Yeah. Well, anyway, enough said.
That was Paul's. But we went to Mandeville Seafood Market and
Mandeville.
Eatery.
Yeah.
Mandeville.
Yep.
Seafood Market and Eatery.
I think that was the first place we went to, actually.
Mandeville.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Got myself po' boy, which in case you haven't figured out, we're outside of New Orleans. You may have heard of it.
New Orleans.
New Orleans. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
They have kind of a reputation for good food.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. So
we decided to be in Rome.
Mm-hmm. We went to that area because we were going to go. I know it's jumping ahead, but we were going to go to that fabric store. It was closed because of the cold, which wasn't even cold.
That was called So This.
Yeah. But at the restaurant there, I got a po' boy shrimp. Perfectly tasty.
Yep.
Then we got the,
Sorry, I'm cold.
okay. Then we got the, hush puppies. Yeah.
Yes, we got hush puppies. You got, what did you say you got?
Gumbo.
You got the shrimp gumbo.
Voodoo gumbo, which is with collard greens and not okra, was the only thing I remember about it.
But it was shrimp.
Yeah.
And it was good.
That was very tasty.
Hush puppies. Wait, you got, hold on a second. You got the po' boy and a small bowl of the gumbo.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got the shrimp tacos, fried shrimp, and hush puppies.
Mm-hmm.
The hush
And you had
puppies.
a side of fries too.
Yeah. Yeah, fries were not bad, but
Fries are good. Yeah.
not very hot.
There's a lot of food.
It was good. Only 2 tacos, so it wasn't too bad. And the hush puppies, I wanted to have hush puppies. Those were good.
Would I go back there? No. If I lived in that town, yes. Yes.
It was not pricey. I'd say it was $2 signs.
Yeah.
2 to 3.
It was reasonable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was fine. You walk in through the seafood market, and obviously. And then the other place that we wanted to go to, what was on your bucket list? In New Orleans.
I know, but
You have the list.
Café
I gave
du
you the
Monde?
list. Yeah.
Café du Monde?
Cafe du Monde.
You did?
Yes. That was all the food.
Oh, that's what this is.
That's what I was sitting there writing.
Oh.
Dork.
Well, that's helpful.
Yeah.
Yes. We went to the world famous Café du Monde. And we went to
In French Quarter.
Right, the big one in the French Quarter. Had café au lait and beignet, 3 beignets. That's what the order is. You got 3 of them, which they're like
big.
They're fried dough. I mean, they're donuts, but not with a hole. They're similar to that.
And a lot.
Like a half a
powdered
cup
sugar.
on each
per
one.
beignet. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a
It was
boatload.
amazing. What are you talking about? It
We-
was amazing.
Yeah, and like it said in the review or on the menu, if you don't leave covered with powdered sugar, you're doing it wrong. And we definitely
did.
Yeah.
So
We did
much.
it right.
It was really good. We had 1.5 beignets each.
Mm-hmm.
And, I've made beignets before, and I've had beignets at other places, but nothing like this.
These are good.
These are amazing. I mean, the coffee was coffee.
Coffee
Wasn't
was
anything to write home about. It was
Mhm.
good. The service was great. There was a lot of people outside playing music. You sit outside in a covered patio,
Yeah.
cash only. And you can take home a mix. You can take home beignets. You can take home whatever. I don't think they really serve anything else. It's beignets. And
You can even buy a can of the coffee. But you can also do that in the store.
So it's interesting though, when you go and watch them clean up, they have a little tin bucket that they put underneath the table to wipe off all of the powdered sugar. I don't know how they don't get that's why their shirts are white.
Yeah, exactly.
I thought their pants were black, but anyway,
Probably wear an apron.
very nice servers.
Yeah. But that was awesome.
It was a good experience. I really enjoyed it. Especially, the music, it wasn't bad music.
No. They're
there
good
was-
street performers. I imagine a bad street performer would get chased out of there.
Quickly.
Yeah.
The only-
Laughed out of town.
The parking was expensive.
Yeah. Well, when we were there, it was technically Mardi Gras season. We're a couple weeks out from the big party, but I didn't know this, but they have these freaking parades
all
all
the time.
month long. Yeah, the Mardi Gras season starts on the Feast of the Epiphany, January 6th, the 12th day of Christmas, when the three wise men.
12th day after Christmas.
Yeah, 12th day after Christmas, when the three wise men, that's what it commemorates. And that's also when they start selling the king cakes, which, oh my God, those are so good.
So, well, that's a whole other story that we'll get to.
But anyway, then the parades from the different crews put on all these different parades, and it's like daily right now. I mean, there's like 5 of them in the next week, and they all take different routes, and they all end up having, a different party at the end of them. Some of them, I guess, are not public, but most of them, are public, maybe a cover charge or, something like that. But so we were there during this time. So 2 hours of parking was $32.
Yeah. And if you recall, the truck is big. And if you recall, the streets in Portland were narrow. These were even more narrow.
The streets in French Quarter made the ones in Portland look like multi-lane expressways.
Well, I would say all the streets here are narrow for some reason. You almost had a heart attack because you thought I was going to hit the mailbox because it was on my side of the road.
True.
But the streets in the French Quarter, I am surprised that we left the French Quarter without a scratch on the truck.
Well, remember that dump truck, turned so wide, and that woman got out and tried to direct traffic so that he could back up and get going.
A couple times I hit the curb making a turn, just because the ass end of the truck is so big, and with 4 tires in the back, it's hard to maneuver, make a right hand turn when there's people coming. I can't swing wide. And the other time I rode up on the curb because it was too tight. And a couple times, even though it was a one-way street, it was so close on either side. It was just like, I'm just praying I don't hit either vehicles on either side. So that was interesting. So we went to a parking lot, and I took up 4 spots intentionally. If we're going to pay for it, might as well make it worth my while. So after Cafe Du Monde that day, we did other things before that we'll get to. Then we went to Cafe Du Monde, and then we walked around a little bit, and then we were hungry because we had only had that crappy breakfast in the morning. And then we went to, and this was on a Friday, I took off work. We were there in New Orleans for a reason. We were at a World War II museum for hours that we'll talk about. And then we wanted to go food. We went to a quilt store. And then I asked the guy at the quilt store, where would you eat for authentic food?
Authentic New Orleans cuisine.
We tried to get the music. That's the one drawback. We tried to get the typical brass band kind of music that they play, the jazz where they go around. Didn't get that, but the food made up for it because we went to Jacques Imos.
Jacques Imos. Jacques-Imo. Holy crap, was that good.
It was amazing.
And the guys, I mean, it's that there's something to that Southern hospitality. We went in, we walked in. The guy, I guess he was actually the bartender, but he was acting as the host at the time. We got there early, thank God, because it was packed when we left. And even still, they were able to squeeze us in. There's only a couple open tables. But one of the things I had read about in the review was the alligator sausage and shrimp cheesecake, which those words all didn't seem to go together. So I asked him, what's the deal? And he said, don't think about cheesecake, think about quiche, but without a crust. Yeah, without eggs. And it had Gouda, and the crust was made out of Parmesan
and Romano.
Yeah.
There was a cream on
some
the
sort
inside.
of cream cheese. Yeah, there's a few different things. And then he said, you know what? I'll buy it for you.
It didn't happen.
It didn't end up happening. I think there's, he's the one who bought it for us, but then the waiter, is the one who delivered. I don't think there's quite the communication, but I was ready to buy it anyway, just based on his description.
Well, and he said, have you ever been here before? No, we've never been here, and we like to buy this for first time people here, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, well, apparently that was not the case because that was on it, which is not a big deal, but I wouldn't have bought the drink.
Mm.
So, I mean, that was
Well, maybe we should have said
30 bucks
something
for the
then.
drink and it's fine, whatever. It's
Mhm.
15 bucks. But it was outstanding.
Yeah, it was amazing.
It had
never
so much
tasted anything
flavor.
like that.
Yeah. And, you think alligator, you're like, ooh,
Hmm.
but it wasn't. It was delicious. And
Well, like the guy said, it doesn't have much flavor, so there's pork mixed in. And then it had some sort of tomato sauce on it too.
yeah, it was just, it's hard to describe. It was just a lot of flavor. But if you ever get there, you got to get it because it is just, and they were like asking, do you have any allergies? So they brought over these 2 little cornbread muffins.
Yeah.
And on that, they had butter and like a pesto, something on top of it, which was,
Oh, good.
so it was really good. To start with that, we were hungry because we had breakfast and then we had a beignet and a half. And so we had this meal and it's a small area. You walk in, you can walk into the bar and then they walk you past the kitchen, through the kitchen to the seating area. And
Not like by the kitchen where you can, it's not like an open kitchen sort of concept thing where you can see. No, you're like walking right behind the
Literally.
waiters who are taking the orders off the line.
you can
and
see the food that's up there ready
assembling
to
their,
go.
yeah, making the salads and that sort of thing. Yeah, that was interesting.
So we were hungry. So we ate the cornbread and then the alligator shrimp cheesecake came out. And then you ordered,
The grouper,
I wrote it down.
Grouper Mojo.
You ordered the blackened grouper.
Blackened Grouper Mojo was
One of the things
complete
that we
name.
talked about was doing it outside of our comfort zone. Don't get things that are safe, which we don't normally do anyway, but
Not in a place like that.
no. So I figured go big or go home. I got the crawfish at Touffet.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you the last time I had crawfish,
If ever, you said.
if ever.
That was
I might have
very
tasted it
flavorful.
before, but so they shelled it, which was easy because otherwise it's a lot. But crawfish at Touffet, and then the sides they had a corn mo
Cajun corn, creamed corn,
and red
which
beans
wasn't
and
really
rice.
creamed. But
It was not, and red beans and rice.
yeah, the red beans and rice were, and I got the same ones because I didn't want mashed potatoes
No,
or
French fries.
sweet potatoes or I mean, they had those things too, but those were the most, or smothered cabbage.
Yeah.
Thought about that for a minute, but the red beans and rice were really good. I liked the Cajun corn. It was good.
It was fine. Yeah.
Yeah, I was happy with those choices.
And I did get a mixed. I got a cocktail, which I never really do. It was a watermelon
Mojito.
and he said it tastes like watermelon, and it was good. And then for dessert,
The vanilla bean creme brulee. That was really
That
so
was delicious.
smooth, creamy.
it was
Yeah.
really good.
I really like the neighborhood. I forget what the name. I don't know what the name. Uptown. I don't know what
It was
part.
the St.
of
Charles area.
Yeah, not the Garden District. A little beyond that, but like all kinds of bars, restaurants. We parked in front of a Jamaican place that had like 3 signs that said
Wait.
no ice, no
Yeah.
no ice. Everyone welcome, but ice.
But ice, yeah.
Yeah, I took a picture of that. We'll post that one.
Yeah. That was great.
But they had, a lot of different places. Like I told you, that'd be the neighborhood I would want to, like that kind of neighborhood. Wasn't as overrun with the tourist stuff as like the French Quarter.
The cat is being bad again.
Again or still?
Still. But now he's messing with your camera down here at the bottom stand. So Jacques, Imos.
2 enthusiastic thumbs up.
Yeah. Oh,
That was close.
great recommendation from the quilt store. Even though the quilt store wasn't something that I would go back again, he's going to bite me, which we'll talk about. Not the cat, but the quilt store. Worth going in there for that recommendation.
Yeah.
He gave us another one. We chose this one, and I'm so glad that we did. It was good. Wasn't cheap.
No, wasn't super expensive. I mean, it was like
was
$30-40 a piece for the entrees, but worth
100%,
every penny.
100%. And we bought the alligator cheesecake.
Especially if we'd argued for the alligator cheesecake. I don't know. Oh well.
And then last but not least,
Our breakfast today.
yeah,
at
Daisy
the Dukes
Dukes.
Hazard. Oh,
Daisy Dukes.
Daisy
And
Dukes.
none of the waitresses wore Daisy Dukes. So
None.
they were sweatpants.
Yeah.
It was delicious.
It was really good. Yes. You found that one.
I did.
When I searched, I looked on the North Shore, something close. Figured we'd go before we got in. But then once you expanded the scope, there's a couple of them that you found. And I think we picked that one because it was closer to where we were going to go.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
It
Looked
was
better.
What was the name of the town?
Kenner.
Monterey? Kenner,
Ma-
but
Matery.
yeah. But in French?
Matery?
Yeah.
Matery.
So we went there. It was in Kenner, but it was, we were going in, we had some other stuff that we needed to get done. So we went there. It was delicious. I had chicken fried steak. I didn't want to have a waffle because I had a waffle the other day. I didn't want the French toast.
I feel like chicken fried steak is to you what corned beef hash is to me for breakfast foods.
Nasty.
No, something that like if it's on the menu and it looks like it's going to be good, you'll get it. It's
Well,
like your go-to for a
Yeah, but the other part too is like, why get an omelet? We
Right.
can make any of the omelets that were on there. We can make.
right.
They didn't have anything special that I couldn't do. Like I got the waffle because we don't have a waffle iron here, and I like waffles. But anything else, I can make.
Right.
I
So
don't typically make the country fried steak.
chicken fried steak and your review or country fried steak? Chicken fried
It
steak?
was good. It was good. It was thin. But like I said, I think the one that beats it is at that, what is it, Little Boots?
Little Boots.
In Michigan, actually. That was really good with a really, really flavorful white gravy. I don't put gravy on my mashed potato. I don't put gravy on anything. This is the only thing I'll put gravy on. And it was good. It was good.
Yep.
I would go there again. I would get that again.
And I was going to do a...
But wait,
Yeah.
it had hash
Ah.
browns. The hash browns I didn't like. There was a flavor in there I didn't care for.
Yeah.
It came with scrambled eggs. I mean, how can you screw up this scrambled eggs? You can't. Well, you can, but it was good.
Yeah.
But it also came with a biscuit, and that biscuit was outstanding. It was a really good biscuit. It was flavorful. It didn't like break apart. It wasn't dry. Didn't leave your mouth
Flaky.
gummy, and I didn't need to put butter or anything on it. It was great.
Because you didn't see the butter. Because they'd sort of pushed two tables together. So like the stuff that was on the one smaller table, we kind of...
It's okay. You didn't see the syrup. So.
Exactly. For example.
But I didn't see the butter, but it didn't need it anyway.
No.
Okay.
I was going to get the apples to apples. Same thing I got before. 2 eggs, sausage, grits, all that.
Boring.
But then I turned the page and I saw the Delightful Diner Sandwich.
You saw that on you looked it up in the review.
No,
There was
I did
pictures
not.
of it.
Sure, I'll take your word for it.
They had a lot of chicken and
You
waffles.
said that. They had chicken and waffles, right? They had the first page and whatever. And then the second page was the Delightful Diner Sandwich.
Diner Delight.
Diner Delight.
Diner. It was. I have it written down.
Diner
Delight.
Delight. Sorry.
Sandwich. What is the Diner Delight sandwich?
It is a waffle, scrambled eggs, bacon, a fried chicken breast, and another waffle.
So you take a whole waffle, put it in half, and that is your
that's
sandwich. That's the bread for the sandwich. And then in between that,
Yeah.
you have. What did you have?
Well, it was actually like 2 fried chicken tenders kind of thing. It wasn't a whole chicken breast.
Bacon.
And then bacon and
egg
scrambled eggs.
on
Scrambled
top.
eggs.
Well, it was like a fried egg, but it was scrambled fried egg, whatever you call that. It wasn't scrambled like in pieces, was it?
It was a scramble. Well, I think they scrambled it like by folding it kind of thing. Yeah, so it was kind of like that.
Yep.
And with a side of white gravy,
Yes.
right? Came
A
with the gravy.
big bowl of
Big bowl of that.
cup.
I used half of it. And oh my God, that was so good.
It was
Yeah,
good.
It was
The waffle
really
was good. You let me try the waffle.
The waffle was very good. Had that
Like a nutmeg.
nutmeg. Yep, some sort of spice blend in it that was very good. It's a little bit claggy, but it might have been from the steam from the chicken, as you said. But the chicken was really well done, moist on the inside.
No, wait. It wasn't well done.
It was
was
perfectly cooked.
right.
Yes, correctly cooked.
Wasn't
well
dry.
cooked. Nice and moist. And
great crunch.
sometimes they they let the oil sit a little too long, and you get that like. But this did not have any of that. No.
No, it was very good.
Yeah.
Service wise, personality wise, of the people that were there,
Yeah.
not very engaging.
Yeah. They're two
Not like last night.
early 20s girls who are just like hungover,
Getting a job.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't want to necessarily be there. I mean, they weren't rude or anything.
No.
It was just they came out, gave us a menu, came back, took our menu, ran us our water, ran us our check.
Everything okay?
Yeah.
That kind of thing. Not like a engaging Mike
Jacques
from Jacques
with his 650 song playlist.
Yes.
That I told him, I think you were in the bathroom. I said, I
I
got
was
to
there.
tell you, between the Ghostbusters theme and what other song? Oh, The Power of Love by Huey Lewis and the News. I'm like, you're taking me right back to my junior year of high school, man. Those were two big hits. And he laughed and then, said something else about his playlist.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, Daisy Dukes, great. So we had some great, some okay, and some not so good.
Yep.
The not so good was in Amite, right?
No, we didn't ever go to Amite. There is a diner up there
To eat.
Yeah, there's a diner up there that got good reviews, and then when I dug deeper and looked through the photos on the reviews,
They had that hash brown patty. Mm. But what did you learn about Amite?
Amite is
If that's how you pronounce it. Sure.
Was that the Sicilian festival or the Oyster Festival? I think it was the Sicilian festival. Oh, you mean the parish that we're in had the second highest rate of lynchings of blacks between 1870 and 1950 in the state of Louisiana. Yeah, there's a whole, after Reconstruction, all the way up through the 50s and 60s, there's all sorts of, white on black violence, political disempowerment. The school board has sued, I think it was 7 times by the ACLU for, teacher-led prayer. They were under like multiple consent decrees because they didn't hire enough black teachers.
Yeah. They were told that they had to have
a third, 30%, 33%
in their school district, and they didn't
do that. No. And this is a majority black area. What is it, like 60% African American?
Yeah.
So it's just,
ugh.
Yep.
All right. So we have yarn and fabric shops next.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta say, I am pretty disappointed. The yarn shop, I went to one. And that was Quarter Stitch. Now, I was here with Esben almost 12 years ago. June, it'll be 12 years ago. And I didn't get there to the Quarter Stitch then. Couldn't find parking. And when I finally did, they were closed. So,
womp womp.
Womp womp. So we finally got to go. That was one of the things that we did when we walked around. And
because it's in the French Quarter.
It's in the French Quarter.
Clarify.
Mm-hmm. And it was on one of the roads that they had the construction on, so that made the parking even worse. Not like I would want to I don't think I would want to park on the street there with the way that how narrow it is.
Yeah.
But it's almost like you're on the French Quarter. You have all these people that are coming. And like you had said, Maribel, right? Maribel wouldn't go to the French Quarter to go to that yarn store because it is such a hassle to be able to go. So what are you going to have? You're going to have top-notch, a wide variety of good quality yarns and not the everyday stuff.
Right. So when someone like you who is there as a tourist are walking around, you're going to walk in and see, what can I get in this fabulous yarn store in the French Quarter that I can't get anywhere else? Yeah. Not much, it turns out.
They have one local dyer, and wasn't very good. And
although to be fair, a lot of it was the purple, green, and gold,
the Mardi Gras
colors, which are.
And I didn't really want that. They had Juniper Moon, they had Malabrigo, Madeline Tosh. They had
stuff we've seen at virtually every other yarn store.
Nothing special.
And the only thing that was kind of unique about it is they had and even not super unique, is they had a ton of cross stitch patterns.
Quarter stitch.
And
cross stitch.
Yeah. All those sorts of things. But
yeah. So left empty handed.
I was surprised when we found out it had been there, well, at least 12 years because it was there when you were here earlier.
She was friendly, but
Yeah.
it was a big disappointment, especially I think that the part that really makes it more disappointing is that you go through all this trouble, you find this, you fight through the streets to drive and get there, and then you pay
That's
an
it?
arm and a leg for parking, and you walk over there to it, and and you get in there, and it's that. It was like, what the am I doing here?
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is stupid. Why did you have this? This is ridiculous. So
Mm-hmm.
it was a big disappointment. Big disappointment for me. But
Oh, well.
anyway,
And then the fabric store we talked about.
we went to, it's called Sewing Seeds. The first one that we went to, it's SEAUXING, Seeds.
Mm-hmm.
It was awful.
Where was that one? Which one was that?
I don't remember the town. It was the one that had the Boston Commons, the Boston Square.
Covington. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Covington.
Yeah.
And it was really disappointing.
Very.
It was probably more disappointing than Quarter Stitch. No,
Yeah.
actually, Quarter Stitch was more disappointing.
I think you got a couple of fat quarters there or something. No,
I
you
got
didn't get
nothing.
anything there? Okay.
No, they had a couple of. It looked like they had a table. There were people sitting there, but all they had was like they had a lot of character fabric.
Mm-hmm.
They had some like pattern fabric, which wasn't very good. They had some batik, and the batik there was maybe 20 batik total, and it was I believe that was the one that was like $8 a yard, and it was all the same batik that you get anywhere else.
Yeah.
Not impressed. And I walked out. I mean, it wasn't anything. And there was one woman that came in loud, and she kept talking about how, oh, this is so cute. Look at this. This is adorable. And I look at it, and it was just like giraffe and puppies and elephants. I don't know.
Something you could probably get at Michael's.
Yeah, I was gonna say Joann's, but
All right.
not anymore. So, yeah, pass. Sowing seeds. Don't waste your time.
Mm-hmm.
It was a cute area. Just they missed the mark. I don't know how they stay in business, but whatever. So this we said was closed. So it was a bigger store, had Bernina, but they were closed for inclement weather, which there wasn't any on that day. And then we went to Summers Haven Quilt Shop.
That was the one up in Amite, right?
Mm-hmm. That was a nice shop. It was
Surprisingly.
now, it wasn't a nice shop that had a bunch of boutiques. It was a nice shop.
My usual standard of
Mhm.
niceness.
They had, of course, they had a long arm, but they had a bunch of fabric that seemed to be in the grouping. When you, as a store owner, when you buy fabric, you have a, can't think of the term of it, but they have several that belong to that pattern.
Colorway?
Yeah, it's kind of like a colorway, but it's like it all belongs to that pattern
Family.
And so that's what they seem to have. It was nice. So I don't do a lot of that. So, but I did buy stuff. And one thing that was very unique about this store is they had a lot of stores have fat quarters cut up and folded and ready to go. This one had a lot of 1 yard cuts that were folded up and ready to go. So I did buy a couple of them. I like Halloween one pattern and matching patterns that went with it.
Mm-hmm.
And then a couple of fat quarters, but not much. And then the woman that waited on us was very nice. And it was one thing, she's from Wisconsin. And I said, did you have a hard time fitting in? Or
Mm-hmm.
how has it been since you've been here? And she's like, oh, it was very difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Which is nice because whenever I live down south, I don't get along well with the South. I'm too me, I guess.
East Coast.
Yeah. And she said that one guy, she went into one store there. Her husband's from this area. They've lived here 40 years now, but she's from Wisconsin.
Right. I think he was up there for business. They lived in Wisconsin for like 6 or 7 years, and then he moved back down here.
She said that she was in a baseball card store
Yes.
because her sons were there.
Yeah.
And the guy said, "Are you a Yankee or are you a damn Yankee?"
Right.
And she had no idea she didn't know what the difference was. This was like 30 years ago or more. And because her kids were little, I think 7, 5, and 1. And she said, "What's the difference?" And of course, the difference is, a Yankee comes and visits and then leaves. The damn Yankees base day. And it's like, get over it.
You lost.
We don't treat you like this when you come up north. Actually, we
Yeah.
embrace you because of your stupid accent. But whatever. And so then there was the other time that one of her sons' name is Grant.
Well, then he said that, and she walked out.
She did walk out.
And then she said the woman behind her also walked out and said, "I'm so
Apologized.
sorry.
Yeah.
That's just so uncalled for." That
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah. And so her son's name is Grant. One of her son's name is Grant. And she said she went into the store and she'd say, "Grant,
Tom McCann.
Tom McCann store."
Yep. So that's how long ago this happened in the mall, the Tom McCann mall.
store.
I immediately got a flash of like when I was 11 or
I know. I was like, I remember those stores.
getting your Buster Browns at Tom McCann.
Right? I had Buster Browns.
So did I.
So you did?
Yeah,
Oh,
they
that's
make
weird.
for boys.
Do they?
Yeah.
And Hush Puppies. They have Hush Puppy shoes.
Maybe that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah. I hated those Buster Browns. Ugly ass shoes. Anyway, she's in there and she calls him, and the guy goes, "You should have named him Lee." And she said this happens a lot because his name is Grant. And so finally she was in this Tom McCann store with her husband, and the guy that worked there said something about naming him Lee. And she said, "Why? I only go for winners."
Why would I name him after a loser?
Yeah. And then so her husband walked out and was like, he couldn't even say anything. It's like, but this is the whole this is why I don't like the South.
Yeah.
I don't mind visiting, but besides the discrimination is against anybody with a darker skin, but it's
Anyone
also,
who's not a straight white,
yeah.
Christian.
But then also how they treat the Northerners and then like they'll say, "Bless your heart." It's not a good thing. If somebody says, "Bless your heart" now. And it was interesting. We went to Costco, and the woman it was like dead. And I asked her, "Is it always this dead?" And she said, "Yeah." "How long you been open?" "About a year or whatever." And she was very nice. And when we left, she's like, "Have a blessed day."
Yeah.
And I said, "Well, you wouldn't hear that anywhere up north." Yeah. Anyway. So that was the fabric stores. That's pretty much it for the fabric stores.
Yep.
Museums next.
Yeah, we only went to one.
Technically, no, that's
Only
not
got
true.
to
That's
see
not
one.
true. Not true.
You're not counting the Museum of Confederacy.
No, we went to the Whitney Plantation.
Oh, yeah.
So it's technically a museum.
Yeah, you'd call that a museum.
Well,
Yeah.
they call it a museum.
Let's talk about that one first.
Okay.
That was very cool.
So wait, let's preface this whole thing with we are against racism. We are
In case
against
that wasn't clear.
people treating people
Racism,
like shit.
bad.
Right.
Slavery,
Racism,
bad.
we don't shop at Walmart, because we want people to treat people well, right? So I don't know how I grew up this way. I did not grow up this way. My family's racist, but I am not. And so we had no desire to go to a plantation. None. And as I'm looking at things to do in the New Orleans area, I came across Whitney Plantation. Whitney Plantation. So I come out and I say, "Hey, Jeff, did you want to go to a plantation?" And you're like, "Absolutely not." No interest. What if the plantation talks about slaves? It's about slaves. It's not about the owners. And you go, "Yeah, I'd
Go
go."
on.
Yeah, I'd go. And I was like, well, that was a quick change. I said, this plantation only talks about slaves. And they'll talk about the owners, because the owners bought it, right? So, and this is what they did, but not in a good way.
Yeah.
I mean, it was an unvarnished truth. And I tell you, there were other people that were there that were black, and they were crying. And I just wanted to say, I'm sorry. Anyway.
Yeah, well, we got there, and you buy your ticket. We went for the guided tour because let's have someone explain it all.
Yeah.
Not just listen and walk around with that. But there's plenty of people who did, and there was 10 people on our little tour.
Yeah, Najira.
The
Was our
woman,
tour
Najira,
guide.
was our tour guide, and she was a young girl. I mean, I say that it sound like older and older every day. She's probably 20, 21, early
I think
20s.
she's a little older.
A little older than that, somewhere in her mid 20s. And so she went around and explained everything. She was actually descended from some of the enslaved people who had been kept on the plantation, grew up in the area, and they took us first to a church, which actually had been built somewhere else and moved onto the plantation, to preserve it, which we learned about the fun story about the Antioch Baptist Church. The Antioch name, Antioch is a biblical name, but also the society that formed by the freed blacks after the war was called the anti-yoke, as in, what you put on a horse or an oxen, and they put them on the slaves to keep them, from escaping. They were yoked together when they were transported. So it was the anti-slavery society, anti-yoke society. And then after Reconstruction, when things, started ramping up again with the lynchings, etc., they changed the name to the Antioch.
Antioch. That was interesting.
Yeah. And then they did take us through the big house, which...
Wait, we got to start this over. When we got there, they give you a lanyard. And the lanyard has a person on it, a name of a slave, and on the back it is a sculpture of that person. And these sculptures are throughout the museum, not like a lot, but in the church. There was a couple of them on the porch, and then there was several up by the altar, a bunch of them up by the altar, and they don't put eyes in these sculptures. And she said, eyes are the windows to the soul, and so they wanted people to see just how much they had taken from these slaves.
That was that's when I was like, oh my God, am I going to make it through this without crying? So we went in there, and all of the statues were kids. Yeah. So I was like, and that's just the beginning.
Yeah.
But the next thing then they took us to was the big house. I think we walked around a little bit. The next thing really I remember that was
wall.
important. Yeah, they went through the wall. They talked about the people who had been brought over. They talked about the Middle Passage. They had the names of a lot of the slaves, what tribe in Africa they had been brought over. The Nigeria talked about how, they grew sugar cane was one of the primary crops, but other crops that they had grown, they would find slaves from that area because they knew how to grow these crops when the, Europeans, the whites, did not
get their skills.
So that was interesting. And then they did show us the big house, but unlike most of the plantation tours, which are all about the big house and the hardwood floors and the furnishing and all that sort of opulence, this was just, it was the one thing that they had restored was the ceiling. There's a painting on the ceiling, decorative painting on the ceiling. And they had like one little section, which was like, this is what it was like before we restored it. But other than that, it was empty. There's no furniture in there. She went through the rooms.
There's a kitchen.
Yeah, they had like some things
in things.
The kitchen was a whole separate building. And that had furnishing in it. And there's a couple of rooms in the big house had furnishing. Like,
yeah, not a lot.
More
study,
like,
maybe? I don't even remember.
Yeah.
There's nothing. I was actually surprised at how bad. This house is not a great plantation house.
Yeah.
So.
Although it is one of the oldest, she explained, how before the levees were built, all the houses were built up on stilts. And then, the enslaved people built up the levees. So that, prevented the flooding. So they were able to enclose the bottom floor. So this is the oldest example of that kind of architecture left in the United States. It was built around, I think she said 1795. And then they took us out. She took us out, and we went to there's the carriage house, the barn, the blacksmiths, which had been reconstructed, had been destroyed, I think, in an earthquake at one of the hurricanes. That was used in the filming of Django Unchained. Then, we saw the slave quarters. She talked about that. The sugar mill was like not there anymore. It was like a mile or
There.
half mile down the road.
The jail.
Yeah, they showed us the jail where the convicts, because after the Civil War ended and slavery ended, as she said in the 13th Amendment, it says that slavery is illegal except for indentured servitude for prisoners, except for that.
So then everybody got
So that's the big
prisoned.
loophole.
Yep.
Yeah. So let's just come up with some things like vagrancy and loitering, and we'll use these are felon. And this is still a reason why a lot of blacks in the South are not able to vote, because they get, especially this was bad during like the 20s and then in the 50s and the 60s and all, but it still continues today. That's why there's a huge number of blacks who are disenfranchised.
Well, and then they take their religion, and they're not allowed to practice religion. They make them give these Bibles, and they tear out sections of the Bible so they can't, like only the minister can read. And so they tear out all of these sections that they don't want them to know that they can do this uprising.
They don't just tear them out. They rewrote the Bible and would publish these and sell them as slave Bibles so that you could get one and give it to your, enslaved pastor who would be able to read what was in there.
The other thing, the names of the, there was this placard, I guess it was, of how much slaves cost, how much these people were bought for.
Right.
And the older you are, the less that you get. And the younger you are, like, I didn't know that at that time, kids were considered adult at age 10.
Well, enslaved kids were.
Enslaved kids. And so they would sell, and if they didn't have any skills or whatever. But a woman with her kid was less than $1,000. But at that time, they had all the list of the people that they had bought, how much they bought them for, and how much the total cost was. It was like $57,000.
Which was like $250,000. I forget it. What
It was like
she said.
$2.5 million.
It was a lot because it was expensive.
And then
I think that was when one of the owners had died, and they were like tallying up all he owned, or there was one of them was of course a drunkard, gambling.
This was a couple of hours of this tour. It was an hour and a half.
It was an hour and a half altogether.
And then she took us over to this other place where they had these sculptures on spikes.
Heads.
Sculptured heads on spikes.
Which was her favorite part.
Not the reason why you think.
Right.
It was more of because there was an uprising.
Largest uprising not the largest uprising in the United States, but the largest uprising in the South. There was in Nat Turner's Rebellion.
Yeah.
But it was
around.
It's called the German coast because there was a lot of German settlers along there, including the original owners of the plantation. And there was a big uprising, and then of course the militia came and rounded them up and executed them. And most of them, after they were executed, were decapitated, and their heads were put on spikes in front of the plantation where they had
Up and down the Mississippi River.
all down the Mississippi. Yeah.
Just anyway. Then there was the wings.
And she liked it because it showed they fought back.
Yeah.
That was.
Well, that they fought, that they didn't just take it, that they were fighting back. Then the other one is Wings of Angels, Angel Wings. And it was like 2,300 kids that died in that plantation. So part of it is they and I didn't know this either, that they had women as breeders, and their goal was to breed slaves.
Like the one who had 5 kids by the time she was 23.
Lost 5 kids.
Lost, yeah.
Yeah, lost 5 kids by the time she was. And you were bought to breed, and they would rape the women.
Yeah.
So that they could breed, and you gave birth in the field. And if you died in the field, or if that kid died in the field, you were buried right there. You got nothing else. So it was just, yeah.
Yeah, and she told the story about the one who went into labor, and the overseer thought she was faking it. So they dug a hole, like basically that her belly could fit in, so she could lay down on her face and be beaten. And then she gave birth, and she died.
She died.
The baby did not.
Yeah. Oh, because you were in labor.
Our bad. Sorry.
Yeah, it was just. So the guy that bought it, who bought the plantation
Jim
now,
Cummings.
yes, he is an attorney from Chicago area, right?
No, from Nolans.
From New Orleans originally?
Yeah, because his dad was a CPA who taught courses at Tulane or
He was poor,
at Loyola
right?
during they grew up poor. Like it said that there was times he had to hitchhike to high school, times that he couldn't go to the state fair because he didn't have the dime to get in.
Yeah.
But his dad taught accounting at the Loyola University and for free during World War II. And the exchange was his kids could go to school on a full ride. So this guy went to
college.
Went to college, went to law school.
He made money.
He was a trial lawyer who specialized in like the MGM Grand Fire. Remember that? Like he was one of the attorneys on that. So made a lot of money off of that. But the way he got into it was he was the second chair on some big case. And, he was like doing depositions and all that. I shouldn't be laughing. But then the lead attorney had a heart attack and they gave him like 2 days continuance. And then on day 3, our boy shows up and he's the lead attorney and they won or they settled for a ton of money and that was it. And then, with some of the money he made from that, he got into real estate and, just had a ton of money and built it up, but also always had a strong anti-racist sort of community focus.
Tell the story about his friend.
The woman that he would help
when he
gardening,
was 10.
and the retired cop called his mom and said, "You better tell him to stop helping that N-word." He sounds like
or I'm gonna arrest him.
Well, yeah, or he'll be sorry, whatever. This guy, the attorney, sounds like he likes to tell stories. So he said he was like 11 or 12. I don't know exactly if he was that young, but he went over to the house of the cop with a 2x4 and like was hiding it behind his back and said, "Did you call Leona the N-word?" And the cop said, "I sure did." And I'd do it again. And he like took out the 2x4 and started beating on the cop.
Yeah.
Who knows if that's it's a good story.
And his mom, she wanted to find out what happened. And she asked him and he told her and she said, "Good." So he
anyway.
found out about the plantation was for sale and so he bought it. And then he did a lot of research
which was pretty amazing because it's
like $10 million he bought it for.
Yeah. Altogether, I think it said he put in $20 million into it.
His own money.
Yeah, was it $10 million he put into it or 20? I forget. A lot.
But
it was it was a plantation and then it fell sort of into disrepair. It was a producing plantation or sugar, operation until 1975.
yes.
And then it was vacant and then
It went bankrupt in 1975.
And then a chemical company wanted to buy they wanted to buy a whole bunch of stuff because they're going to build the world's largest rayon plant there.
Yes.
And, they call that area Cancer Alley because of all the refineries. And so, but that was one where the community was able to get them to not do that. So he bought the plantation from the chemical company and put in a bunch of his money to renovate it. He met at a party, this Senegalese scholar, and would fly him out like once a year or once a month or something, to help guide the project. And he eventually ended up moving to New Orleans full time and is the director of research. They've done all sorts of research on the slave trade into Louisiana, collected, 100,000 names of enslaved people.
Well, that's the writing project, the letter project. That's something, I thought that was different. That was the woman who found all the names of the people. And it wasn't just the Whitney plantation. It was all the plantations.
Louisiana, yeah.
That was the letter project. But one of the things, they did sugarcane and indigo. And indigo is very difficult to harvest. So they had all of this on the plantation prior to. So anyway, this guy bought it, turned it into this, and it is one of the only ones that talk about the slaves, which is
the only one, according to them, and
it is
according
the
to
only
Wikipedia.
one. That's what I mean. Yeah. It is the only one.
And it's now a nonprofit, and they have because I think that I know that director fellow is doing more research. I know that's why he was over here full time.
Yeah.
Maybe he's expanding on that list, what you were talking about, because I seem to remember it being connected somehow, but
Yeah.
maybe not. Yeah, so that was awesome.
If you're
That was a
ever
high
in
point.
the area, that is something that it is.
Absolutely.
If you're not a racist and you're wanting to know,
Yeah.
I mean,
Don't bother. There's oak something or other, and there's another one. There's like
Bunch
two
of
or three
plantations.
right around in that area.
yeah,
Go to this one. It's much more rewarding.
yeah, really is, because the money goes to a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
And we bought a couple books. You bought a sweatshirt. I bought a headband that I'll never be able to wear because I don't think it ever looks right. Anyway, I highly recommend that one. It's it's a great place to go. That was our first one that we went to. That was the first thing that we did when we were here. Then we went to
The World War II Museum. Louisiana's #1 attraction. The second time you'd been there.
Yeah.
And
They really built it up, though.
it's huge.
Huge.
4 buildings. I lose track.
I think they're at 6 or 7.
Yeah.
But it's
There's like 4 or 5 in the main sort of thing with displays and all. And it was good. I thought,
it was a lot.
It was a lot. By the end, I was like, okay. I mean, I skipped the Boeing building with the airplanes in it. So,
Why?
I was just like, I've seen all these planes before, and I'm done. I'd reached my limit.
Yeah. The problem is, so it is immersive.
Mm-hmm.
You go into a train car, a makeshift train car, and they even have it feel like you're getting ready to go. But you are a new recruit. Not even a recruit. You're
on your way out there to go to boot camp.
Yep.
And while you're there, there's video screens out the window, which are synced to the shaking.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
And then there's people telling their stories. They had, it wasn't 5
terrible.
minutes.
5 minutes.
Yeah.
5 minutes. And so then you go there, you leave, and then you go into the museum.
Mm-hmm.
And what we didn't know, which is kind of frustrating, is that you can pick up a dog tag and you can follow this person, whoever is on the dog tag.
Right.
You can follow him through his story throughout the entire thing.
Yeah.
And we didn't do it. It was too late. But
they should have had that. They didn't have it right up at the front desk where you buy the ticket, which I thought was odd.
yeah.
I guess it was right there.
Yeah, we didn't see it.
We just didn't miss
And nobody
it.
said anything. So that was even weird. So we go in and we start with...
Oh, it starts right at the beginning. I mean,
and
they
they
talk a little
do
bit
go through that way.
the rise of the dictators and rise of Hitler's covered. Like I said to you, I thought it covered pretty much everything from the American perspective. Not like super detailed. It did have a thing about Native Americans, but I don't recall specifically seeing about the code talkers. But it did say like from each group, like this many Native Americans fought, this many African Americans, this many, Hispanics. Like they broke it down by ethnic group and all, and talked about the women. It talked about everything. I think it had something about everything.
They talked about, so you're immersive, and they have areas for movies, and the movies are 7 minutes. And then they have other little like alcove areas that has 4 personal accounts.
Yeah.
And they're 2 minutes each, or up to 2 minutes each, because some of them are a little less. And you can sit there and listen to them, and throughout each of the areas on the different things, like what it was when Normandy, and they had a German one for the Normandy beach, and what he thought was going to happen, like he didn't expect it. So that part was good. But then it's like all there, big screens playing the movies and little screens and
displays of the weapons, displays of what the soldiers carried, displays,
There was one that I don't know what it was but you could see out the window. It was like this window that was around, and then you can go and you turned it. It was like a spyglass. I don't know if it was.
The German bunker.
Yeah.
Talked about how that they would use that to sight in.
They had an area that was the winter, and then they had
that was in the second building, right?
That was the forest.
Yeah. The first building was like a mix.
Yeah.
Like it was like standard museum, and then you would walk on to the deck of a ship or the mess room, and it would talk about the Navy. So it was like immersive that way. But the second building was like,
After that,
you're
it was
walking through the freaking jungle, and there's a blown up tank here.
Yeah.
Or
it looked like the walls were burned.
Right. The ceiling. You pointed out that one, like the one about the air war. It's like you're in a hangar and you could see there's a shell hole and you could see the planes flying by over.
At least the sky. But in the forest area in the winter, they had like makeshift snow on the ground, but they had lights that were falling to make it look like snow.
Yeah.
And it was just.
They even had the air conditioning cranked in that section to make it colder.
It was really impressive. The whole thing was impressive. I mean, it was impressive for somebody who doesn't care about history.
Yeah.
I thought it was great.
Yeah.
It was, you learned a lot.
They had a jungle set up. They had like what you were saying there, the forests in the winter. They even had going through like a bombed out house in Germany. And they also had Anne Frank. Right. Including like the,
her room, her kitchen, or something.
The bookcase that you walk through to get into the secret annex. And
they did. They had like you were in a plane that wasn't that like a ship that was burned out. And the other part too is they put it in perspective. The one thing that I don't know a lot about World War II. I'm not a World War II expert. I don't look at a lot of these things. But one of the things that I found was very interesting was the amount of military we had. So it was like, Germany was planning this for a while, which, you don't really realize this. And we only had like 335,000 military servicemen at that time. And Germany had over 3 million military servicemen at that time. We had a tenth. And Japan had less than 1 million, like 800,000. But they have it on display, and they have the red, like, those little toy soldier. They have the red ones, and they say each one of these little red soldiers equals 1,000 military servicemen. So they had them out there, and you can see, like, Japan went down like several rows at United States, and then you had this massive red for Germany. And it was like, holy they had. How did we not lose to Germany? Is beyond me. I mean, we ramped it up very quickly, but it was just, and then there was another area that was like that showed the vast differences. It was incredible.
Yep, that was good.
What was your favorite part of it?
Ooh, my favorite part. I don't know if I could pick just one. Just the whole experience, All
They also had the Auschwitz, the concentration camps. They had that display.
Yep. It was just the ones that the Americans had liberated. So like Buchenwald and some of the other ones. Auschwitz was in Poland. But yeah.
What was your biggest disappointment?
My biggest disappointments were two.
One
was, I can't remember, so I guess it must not have been that big a disappointment. But they talked a lot about the British, and they talked about the Battle of Britain, and the Nazis were bombing them. They talked about how we lent supplies and, material to the British. They barely mentioned the Soviets. There was like one thing about leaders of the war, and they had Churchill, Mussolini, Hitler, Hirohito, Stalin. They had, commanders, generals of World War II. They had one German, but one Soviet. All the rest were American and British. And even when they were talking about the Lend-Lease Act was what it was called when we, sold the stuff to Britain, we gave a boatload of stuff to the Soviets for them to fight with. And didn't mention that at all.
No.
They would, if you looked like where they had things like timelines, they would mention, Battle of Stalingrad, where, the Battle of Stalingrad, in that battle, there was 1 million Soviets died. there's like 300,000 American troops who died in the entire war. That one battle, over 1 million Soviet soldiers died. That's not even count, there's 20 million Soviets who died in World War II, civilian and military. And they just like barely mentioned any of that. They did say like, oh, Stalin wanted a second front. And with the invasion of D-Day, that happened. It was just like, and, I get it that they're focusing on the American experience and all, and that we fought with the British, but even to that extent, to not mention, we helped them out with a lot of supplies. It felt like it was like from the 50s, and it was anti-communist stuff that we don't want to talk about.
Yeah. They talked about Japan a lot. They even had an area on the internment.
Yeah.
Right. So they had that. They had
recreation. They had.
So why not the Soviet Union?
Yeah. And then what was the other thing that bugged me?
I don't know.
It was very minor. That one was very minor. That's so minor that I've forgotten it.
Yeah. Not important.
Yeah.
What else?
About the museum?
Period. No, that we were here. Other things that we did. Jackson Square, when we were walking around the French Quarter. Yeah. That was cool.
Lots of sidewalk artists, selling their...
Lots of psychics.
Lots of psychics.
What kind of pants were they wearing?
That was funny.
Paranormal pants. A lot of psychics, a lot of that. It was cold, so it was interesting. There's somebody performing something. We didn't stay and see. We were walking around. We were hungry. We were hungry. This is on our way to Cafe Duman. The graveyard.
The graveyard. So we didn't go to any of the big, graveyards in New Orleans.
Or the tours.
Any of the ghost tours or any of that. And not because we didn't, we didn't really, just, you had limited time.
Well, but the graveyards here
are,
above ground.
Right.
Because because this area, in that area, I should say, the areas where the graveyards are above ground is below sea level. So you dig a hole, you're going to
hit water real quick.
Yeah. So you can't dig somebody down 10 feet, or 6 feet,
right,
4 feet. You're just not going to be able to. So they have all these cemeteries. They have all the graves above ground. And the tomb, that when you are in the ground, your casket is placed in this concrete tomb. And so now they have decorative concrete tombs for above ground. I mean, it's still heavy, and you can't move the top off of it.
Right.
And then, I found one.
Did you try?
I pushed it a little bit.
Did you think?
I did.
There's a couple. I'm like,
pushed a little bit. I was like, oh, look, I wonder if this.
Get some chains, hook them up to the back of the
No, I don't want to do that. So I saw this one, and I was like, let's turn in here. So we turned in here.
This is local. This is when we were on our way back. So it was not in New Orleans.
No, it was not in New Orleans. And then we didn't get to go to the one graveyard that you wanted to go to. It's kind of creepy. It showed the alligators by it. Anyway, so most of them are above ground, and you can tell that there's these flat concrete pads where there's an opening if anybody wants it. But they have all these different things. And then, like in the beginning of it, it was interesting because most graveyards, the oldest ones are in the back. So one of our date nights, I took you to the talk on gravestones.
And gravestones.
Right? So how do you tell which one's the oldest one here? You can't. So we were looking at the oldest ones, and they were actually in the front. And I think the oldest one that we found was like 1925.
Yeah, right around then.
But what else was creepy about it is a lot of the plaques or the stones with the person's name, date of birth, and death, they would have pictures of the person that was there. And you had said, if you die, and I put a picture on there, make it a good one. Right? You don't want something, the old guy with oxygen on,
Right.
You want something that's relative that people would recognize you. But it's pretty cool.
One of the things we noticed was, like, usually when you go in a graveyard, they're all lined up. You got the headstones are all right here. They're all facing this way. You can all read them. But in this place, in the back, there were head
No
to toe.
rhyme or reason.
Yeah, no rhyme or reason. Some were facing one way. I know in some places it's like, oh, we want to bury them east-west with their heads to the rising sun or whatever, like how they arrange churches and all. That was not the case. But in the front, in the older section, that was all lined up.
It's like they got a new guy in, and
Right? Who didn't know the routine. I don't know.
And so they're all in rows, and on the far side, it is the end, like it's end of the property. And so there's only about one pathway that you can walk to get through, and the ground is mushy because it rained a lot. So it's all like tree lined, bush lined, tree lined. You can't really get in there. So that whole row, all of the headstones, the placards was on that side. You had to
Facing
go
the
over.
other
Yeah,
way.
it was like, oh, it was so weird.
I'm not going to go walking through there with all the snakes and
No,
whatever.
no, but it was fascinating. It was a fascinating place to visit. They
Yeah.
also had the internment, in whatever they call it, for when they put the
urn.
ashes
Yeah.
in, and plaques up there for that.
Yeah, that
That
felt
was in
like
the
there was a
center.
larger proportion of those. Maybe it's just because it was kind of a small
Yeah,
cemetery, but it seemed like there was a lot of people who got cremated. Maybe because
yeah,
it's probably pretty expensive.
yeah. So that
To
was
get
interesting.
above
If you
ground.
ever get a chance to go to one, just stop in one. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is the king cake.
King cake,
King cake.
our new favorite
experience.
dessert.
So, I knew about king cakes. I can't recall having one or what it was like when the last time I did have
Mm-hmm.
one. So the first time we went to a grocery store, we have 5 now. There's
Spoiler.
the first one is like just like a bread dough that is rolled with cinnamon. That was the flavor.
Yeah.
And then it's round, and there's supposed to be a baby
Hollow in the
Jesus,
middle.
little baby, plastic baby that's put in there, and then covered with icing. They make it different colors.
And it's that kind of icing. It's like royal icing that gets like hard.
Yeah.
At least the stuff we got from the,
Something like that.
yeah. And it's like a donut.
Yeah.
That's what when I say it's hollow.
Big. Yeah. It's like a ring. Yes. This one was a ring. And then they had the colors of the purple, green, and gold that are on it for
Mhm.
Mardi Gras.
Purple's for.
I wasn't listening to you.
Gold is power.
Mm-hmm.
Green is faith. Purple is
Loyalty?
shoot.
See, you don't even remember. Can't remember.
Yeah.
Who started the whole king cake? What is the whole story about Mardi Gras and the king cake and stuff like that?
The king cake
Rex?
is a common tradition for the Feast of Epiphany. That's
Uh-huh.
when they serve it,
Uh-huh.
including like hiding the little baby
Who came
Jesus
up with the
thing.
colors?
Rex, the first, like in 1872. So each of the, they have these things called crews, KREWES, which are basically social organizations to, put on the parades and the balls and the parties.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them do like, charity fundraisers and that kind of things. And there's like a ton of them. I had no idea there are so many. And one of the oldest ones, Rex, the king,
Mhm.
and the first
He chose the colors.
and so like each crew gets chooses their grand marshal basically for the year, and so he chose the colors, right?
Mm-hmm. In 1872.
In 1872.
Mm-hmm. So Mardi Gras is that purple, green, and gold.
And the fun fact, one of the fun, this is probably a legend, they say, but the colors. Do you know what LSU's colors are?
Green. LSU is purple, green, and gold.
Just purple and gold.
There's green,
Purple and gold.
purple, and gold.
Yeah. Tulane's colors.
Green and gold.
Right. So the story is like, they went to this store and all of one color, they bought out all of one color and the other bought out all of the other color, so that they went and, that's how they ended up with purple and gold and green and gold.
Fascinating.
I know. Cool story, bro.
Anyway, so we got king cake. So we got a king cake from the first one. It was just the cinnamon one. Then it was like, I didn't really realize that there were other kinds of king cakes. So there's a lot.
Mhm.
So we we went to Rouse's Market, which is a fabulous grocery store because it has a lot of homegrown stuff. And I took a picture of, they have all of this Cajun seasoning. There's a whole section for Cajun seasoning. There was a whole, you know how they have an end cap and they display something. This was like a section that was cut out that they had all of this boiling pots and then big massive things of like crab boil spices and just man,
dump this into 20 gallons of water and throw in
and Rouse's Markets was great for having all kinds of local stuff or unique stuff. Like we like potato chips and the kinds that we got in North Dakota and Minnesota. This had Zaps, and they had the like crawfish seasoning. They had a sweet Vidalia onion seasoning. They had
Voodoo,
Evil Eye.
Yeah.
And so we got some of that, which is good.
Mardi Gras, which we haven't tried that one yet.
Haven't tried that yet. So Rouse's Market, if you're ever in the grocery store, you got to go to one of those because they do have a lot of local products.
And even like the, what things you wouldn't associate. Obviously, you're going to associate Creole and Cajun cooking, but even just like the honey, they'll have a thing on the shelf that says local made in
Boudin.
Whatever.
They had Boudin there. We have to try it. But they had also, if you like pig's feet or pig's neck or ham
turkey
hocks
necks
and all of that kind of like really some of that stuff. Anyway, so we bought, the next time we went back to the store, we bought Bavarian and we had some of that, which is good, but it was just the same thing, but it was stuffed with the Bavarian cream, which is like Boston cream donut, which I like the white cream, not the Bavarian.
Yeah, it was all right.
Which is a custard. It's okay.
I kind of regret eating it last night.
Yeah. After the creme brulee.
Yeah.
So today we were out and we go to the store and he said he wanted to get this praline because I found this article on king cake craw. And so it listed all these stores and all these amazing different flavors. Cream cheese, strawberry cream cheese, lemon, Bavarian, praline, plain. There's a lot.
Pineapple, I saw at one place.
Yeah. So we went to, it's called Breaux, Breaux Market. And I bought praline and cream cheese because I wanted to try that. And it's the same thing. It's like this circle with, and we'll send a picture of it. We'll show a picture of it with all the things. And the guy that was checking us out, we only had a few things, 2 of those. I said, "Do you eat king cake?" He was a skinny kid. I go, Do you eat king cake? Because he didn't look like he ate king cake. He says, "Yeah, I eat it." And I said, "What kind of king cake do you like?" And he goes, "Antoine's." Which is another store. And I'm like, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, Antoine's. They're a better king cake." And I almost thought, well, then I don't want these. But I figured I wanted to try the flavors. Still try the flavors. Because you wanted to try the pralines.
Yeah.
So I said, we're going to Antoine's. I go, "Where's Antoine's?" I couldn't quite understand him. He talked fast. He mumbled, of course, like most teenagers do. I think he was like 17. And then the accent. But it was just down the street. So I figured, I'll just put it into Google Maps. Well, it was only
2 blocks. We literally could have walked there.
Yeah. So we went there and went in line. And I was standing behind these 2 women from Alabama. So if you're listening, we got 2 new listeners. Welcome. I forgot to ask you what your names were. And Antoine's had, so the same price of what we pay for the groceries is how much this king cake costs, which is like $40. And we got lemon flavored this time, but it was completely different. It looks completely different. So we're going to do a taste, let you know which one we like better.
I have a prediction.
I do too. And we'll take pictures of each and we can post them. But anyway, that is pretty much it. That covers everything that we did. A lot this week, despite having.
Well, you took Friday off, so that that helped make up for the Sunday that we were reined in.
Yeah, and Monday.
And Monday, yeah.
But anyway, it was good. What did we really like about the area?
I mean, just the food in general. I like grits. Sorry.
It's all right. You can like grits.
Yeah, I mean, I like Cajun food.
The food was
The
delicious.
food was great. Yeah.
What did I say that I really liked that I was surprised about? There was something. The Whitney Plantation I really liked.
Yeah.
What are we disappointed with? Freezing right now.
I mean, it's just tough to get around in the truck. If you, you know, if you're going to visit New Orleans, stay there.
Yeah. Or do like we talked about, like take an Uber and
Park
out
somewhere.
somewhere and take an Uber.
Yeah.
Just because parking's so expensive.
Yeah.
I think you said we spend over $50 in parking in just 2 days.
To 1 day.
1 day.
Yeah. It was $30 to park at the museum, and
Yeah.
it was like 28 and 32 or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And anything that was surprising?
Yeah. There was, I forgot what I was going to say was surprising. Maybe the Whitney, just I've never heard of it. That was surprising.
Yeah,
Whitney
I was
Plantation.
surprising about how I mean, it was really good.
If I, that would be the one thing I would tell people to go. If you're staying in New Orleans and you're only going to leave for one thing, go see that.
Well, they
go
do
to
have tours that go out there.
Yes, they will pick you up in a shuttle and take you out there.
And the reason why we went there on a separate day was because after work, we were able to go there. It was an hour to get there, and it's an hour plus to get to New Orleans. Then my biggest disappointment, quarter stitch. Quarter stitch, yeah. Best, I wouldn't say surprise, but man, those beignets were good.
Those beignets were good, and that Jacques Imos.
Yeah.
That was top notch.
It was, while the quilt store wasn't the best, the referral was definitely. That pretty much wraps us up.
I think we're about done.
I think so. So that's it for today's stop on Next Stop Somewhere. We hope you liked exploring. I hope you enjoyed exploring.
There you go.
Loranger. Whatever. And surrounding areas in New Orleans with us. If you like this episode, be sure to subscribe wherever you listen to your podcast, and so you don't miss our next stop. And if you really liked it, leave us a review so more everyday travelers can find us.
And you can always follow us on Instagram at next_stop_somewhere. And until next time.
Oh, YouTube.
I was just thinking that it's like, God, we should set up a YouTube, even if we don't upload our videos yet, because we could start saying
YouTube,
our YouTube channel, and we'll see you at the next stop, wherever it may be. It's still going to be in the South. That's not a spoiler.
Not a spoiler.